Hi, my name is Scott Holstad. I won't tell you what take this is, but I've had some settings issues and a couple interruptions from neighbors across the way, next house, um, despite the time. And hopefully this one will take. It's the first time I've used this particular device for something like this, and first time I've actually made a video in a while, so I'm rusty. So if I can throw more excuses out there, awesome. But making this video in support of and celebration of my uh, new book of poetry, Surviving Immortality Again, which is being released on October 15th, 2025, literally a few days from now, from the wonderful Alien Buddha Press. And they have done a fantastic job. It's been really great working with them. This is my first new book of poems. You really can't see much of anything there, I know. In a long time. I have been around a long time. I'm old. And I have published a number of books over the years, been published in a number of magazines and journals. That would be, at least 75 and frankly, well over 100 books when you include my own books, anthologies I've been in, textbooks I've been in, contributed to, and projects I've had ghostwriting and collaborating with people and writing books for certain companies. So not everything that was on retail shelves, but and also at this point over about 800 different magazines in dozens of countries, several languages. But it's been a long time since I've put a new book of poetry out. I've been writing a lot, and actually it's been going well so far this year. I've had about 125 poems, stories, essays, nonfiction pieces published in about 7 months. Been in about 6 or 7 anthologies, with more scheduled. But this is my first book of poems, my own, in a long time. So I'm very excited. And it is, I mean, they did a really nice job with production. I've had a number of books out, some from some bigger, commercial type presses, and I don't think most of them look nearly as polished as this does. It's nice, 132 pages, 90 poems. I usually have written a lot of long poems, so there are actually quite a few short poems in here, and I think 11,775 words. This has turned out to be what I'm calling sort of a concept book, or intended to be. It wasn't originally intended to be. It sort of turned into one. And there's a long story behind it. And if you folks end up getting this or buying it, it's going to be available in print, only paperback, via Amazon. So no Kindle version at the moment, but only $12.99 for 132 pages of poems. That's pretty good. That's really good. A lot of similar sized books go for almost twice that. But I've people who know me for a long time, or have read me for a long time, or maybe have seen some of the things that I've occasionally written annually for a while, know that, or claim that I used my first 9 lives up in the previous century, and my second set of 9 lives up in the first decade of this century, and I'm on my third. And frankly, I have been told by people, including a number of doctors and specialists, that I've passed my expiration date. And there have been a number of predictions, and I wasn't supposed to make it nearly so long as I have to the present. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm living on borrowed time. Um, and I have experienced a number of interesting things over the course of my life. I've had a really unique life. I had some really tremendous ups and some really tremendous downs and everything in between, but a lot of peaks and valleys. And I've moved around a lot. Just always been interested in a lot of things, diverse interests. I enjoyed going and seeing different places and living in different places, seeing different people and cultures and things, especially when I was younger and could do that more. But that being said, I'm often associated through my writings with um, some places more than others. That would include probably um, Tennessee, Phoenix, Long Beach, and Los Angeles, among many others. When you've moved 35 or 40 times, we're talking multiple countries and a number of states and small towns and huge cities and everything in between. But having experienced, I started experiencing a lot of real serious physical problems about 15 years ago. Prior to that, I had experienced a number of things. Of course, my life, everything from diseases to accidents to crime to just everything. And and the past few years have been so odd for a lot of reasons. For me personally, and I think increasingly for a lot of people in the U.S. and the world in general, been a crazy decade. Doesn't seem to be stopping that course anytime soon. But um, things have been so odd in terms of unexpected occurrences and um, things that just border on just illogical or implausible, or one might even say impossible. That um, I started experiencing. I think conceptually and not entirely seriously, but this sense of almost an existential dread that for someone who doesn't place much stock in or ever wanted, desired, or asked for the um, immortality, living forever, eternal life, something I never wanted, don't want, and never really did like the traditional options given to most of us here in the West. Um, I started having almost sort of Kafkaesque um, anxieties, and so what I think I attempted to convey in this book was protagonists, characters, whether they're viewed as representing the author or just in general, sort of a modern Prometheus, in which the Promethean punishment is foremost relevant. Immortality, surviving immortality again. The idea that actually there may be immortality, which is a horrifying thought to me personally, but that it actually would be something that would take place in the present, in the here and now, here and forever, never leaving this life, this planet, this paradigm through any of the traditional means. Really, there's only one. But with the idea that aging continues, the body and mind continues to decay, um, as it does for everybody. But you're trapped forever. I don't know. I saw Jacob's Ladder a few too many times, and some of those other movies, Dark City, things like that. But I'm going to stop blabbing about that now and read a few poems because um, even though I bill it as a concept book, um, I don't try and hit you over the head with philosophy. There are a combination of experiences, there are combinations of a lot of dreams and nightmares that have been a common theme throughout my life and much of my writing. Some experimental stuff, questions of meaning and identity, and I'll let you determine for yourself. And even though I normally would and should be reading from the book, um, in what would seem um, an interesting coincidence or some irony to many, but for me, just seems to be part of my life these days. I went for an eye exam last month, first one in a long time, because I've been having vision problems and some unusual eye pains for a while, and they diagnosed me with um, something new, which I didn't know was possible anymore. Disease they claimed is a genetic eye, and so I need to have eye surgery and could require corneal transplants, possible loss of vision, which would sort of not be terribly surprising, given the typical circumstances of this decade, especially. But as a result, I'm going to, if I can find them, I think try and use some reading glasses I've been using lately, and I actually printed the few poems I'm going to be reading out on regular paper, because it's just a little easier for me than the book, even though the book is 6x9 and it has really excellent font and is very readable. And where did I put my glasses? All right, I'm going to wear a weird pair of glasses, which should surprise no one, but I've got to be able to see. And I'm just going to start. The first poem I'm going to read is called Fifth Avenue Motel. They closed the transient Fifth Avenue Motel, and now where will they go? The single mother with her 2 daughters eating cockroaches from the floor. Hell, where will the rats and roaches go? The city thinks it's a drug-infested blight, but Jack Neely knows its secret history. Likely once a grand building near Knoxville's 4th and Gill District. They came from all over to stay for a night or a month or whatever they could afford, however they can afford it. Recycling bottles, turning tricks, playing at Robin Hood for themselves, and now it's gone. Broken windows boarded up, chain link fence surrounding it like it's a dog with scurvy. The transient hotel drained pale, pissing in an empty ashtray. The next one is called Dystopian Dreamscapes. They assault me in my dreams, grinning disjointed sneers, yapping chasms, causing claustrophobic paranoia possession, and summary distorted screams and inexcusable modes of shrieking tunnel vision, dead ideologies and existential dilemmas, squat-bodied visions of ancient identities. Non-reality husks pose little threat to a cracked dream system. The next one is titled It's Said Again. Crowds milling about, willfully unseen, scent of oregano, spice of worlds. Shan't we stop killing ourselves? Boutiques become deserted over 10 minutes, 5 hours, whatever. Will they go see you when you die? Would they even now today? It's said one needs other people in one's life, but do they truly need you? Bianca. Bianca danced in a Mexican bar downtown. Pale blue veins crisscrossed her bulimic breasts. She loaned herself out for back alley hand jobs, right hand working feverishly, while left hand clutched a 10 spot. Jesus was in love with her, her wiggle, her shake, her urgent right hand. He cried when he came, breathing heavily into her musky hair. She had the moves, man, but the needle got the best of her. When they found her sallow body out back by a dumpster, there were so many trap marks it looked like a river of small legs on her torn body. Dog paradox equation. This one sort of sums up some of the issues I've been thinking about near the end of this poem. Maybe that will be more understandable after I read it. Dog paradox equation. Two dogs ran in front of the SUV ahead, and the lab took it viciously to its side at 50 miles an hour. There was an ugly thud, and then the dog's hideous screaming. The SUV stopped hard, while the lab struggled to right itself, side ripped open, intestines pouring out. That driver then went unthinkable, cluelessly backing up over the dog as I honked and honked. Right then I wanted to kill that fucking driver, except it could have been me or anyone, and I knew it. The slashed up dog dragged itself to the side of the road and tried to throw itself into the bushes. Why'd I leave my snub nose home? The dog wouldn't recover, wouldn't live. I didn't want it to suffer. But what to do? If I went back, grabbed my piece, ended things, I'd be saving the dog. But what trouble awaited if anyone misunderstood? Next legal troubles. But if I drove off, how long would it suffer? If I tried to forget things, I'd be a bastard and even more tortured. But doing nothing? Frozen there, stuck in a dog paradox equation. I decided to no. Instead I called Sandy and cried like a motherfucking baby. Lamenting. Bulbous clouds streamed by the scarred window. What happened down there? Did shiny political rhetoric slide down your legs again? How hearts are broken the many different ways you cried out in your sleep again last night. Steel-toe boots dancing through your head, reaching for me. It's raining now and no one cares. But after this, does it really matter? Palmetto trees stand guard outside. He died last night. Actually, 6:25 a.m. today. Did you hear the gunshot? Loud as hell, really echoed. Did you hear her screaming his name? She knew and couldn't do anything. You didn't hear? I'm glad you could sleep. Some might have felt a little guilty having gone down there with that note. But I don't question that. I just wonder, will you cry? Will you cry? Night falling. She moaned, my face between her thighs. Outside, the sun grew dark. Children left their playgrounds to go inside to bed. Calico cats prowled alleyways. Priests thought briefly of abusing the weak. Drinks were drowned in bars and parlors. Wagers were placed. Nightmare screams were had. A tiny girl cried out for her mother. Police cars roamed and pounced. Hookahs stood forlorn. Junkies sold themselves for just one fix. Television sputtered. Kittens jumped the dog. Old flames wondered and regretted without ceasing. Smartphones begat terminators. Laughter brought peace to distant regions. Honeybees cast about for stems. Spouses huddled together in their unmade beds. Sounds emerged, a smoldering liquid panting grunt sighs and delighted silence unrestrained. She moaned, my face between her thighs. And I believe this is the last one I have for this video. And it's one of the last poems in the book. It's called I'm Not Sure Anymore. Golden butterflied, short-sheeting, yellow-haired flowers, where do you think you are, Famerica? Tell me you love me, slip into my dreams. No! Fall, jump, lunge, disco, plunge, come into my dreams. After all, a girl shaped with no legs is carted onto the stage on a dolly next to me, but that's another story, or so they tell me. My love zings to at me in bed after twisty mornings, pregnant telegrams all ornery with no nausea. I dream in jumped up hydro advertisements, or that's what Dear Leader wants me to think, but then perhaps I studied too much Freud or Jung in college. But they're uncomfortably dead, so where are we? Did Man Ray eat that falafel after all? Shit, look what Philly did to that one. We're left behind by Dada. God, no, my Foucault dreams go short-circuity sometimes in the 11th circle, but I still live them because I have not choices, or so I'm told, but I discovered the true secret to defeat quantum eye rolls, and that really is society. Full bouncy balls and softer, fuller breasts are the keys to happy sharing survival. But shit, man, maybe Darwin got it backwards, and coming doesn't help. It's going, going, going. And I think after all, we did that too. Thank you. The book is Surviving Immortality Again, released October 15th, 2025, available in a very nice, substantial paperback on Amazon. And I hope that you'll be interested enough to get a copy and read it. Leave a review, a rating. Even if you don't like it, you can go ahead and say so. If you do like it, great. If you're interested in my work, you can Google me or search Scott Holstad or Scott C Holstad. And if you include something after that, like author or writer or poet or poetry or quotes, on Google or Bing or many search engines, you'll find a lot of stuff, if that interests you. If not, well, thank you for your time. For those of you who watched this, sorry it was as long as it was, and I hope that this one worked out and is the last one I'm going to be doing today. I do hope to do this again, though, and thanks so much. Bye-bye.